What is next for crypto? Well, we're going to discuss that right now and kind of start covering Matic. Matic is one of those coins that I've actually been following for quite a long time. So, what exactly is next for crypto? Well, we're going to discuss that today. Subscribe, drop a comment, hit your bell, get your latest news on crypto. All right, so we're going to start with Matic. Today, Matic is trading at $1.37. Not the greatest, but not the worst either. So we have some news that we're going to kind of go over some signals that's kind of giving us an idea of what's happening. So we'll definitely kind of be going over those. As well as this, we're going to kind of explain really over the entire market view of why everything is really bad right now. So we'll go over that. Everything is red, so don't worry. You're not crashing. You're not losing your life. Taking a look at Matic, we have a pattern kind of coming on as far as like a triangle or a wedge, if you would. It's not a very good thing because we're kind of in that moment where we're above the medium range for Matic. It could potentially break out and kind of continue to go up, and it does. But when we're looking at the moving averages, it does kind of give a idea that it could potentially do so when you're just looking at the lines, right? But the problem is it's so close, and it could definitely turn around. And when you look at here, you're going to be able to see that honestly it's starting to have more selling power to it. So that's a big thing that I'm going to be watching for, because when that's starting to turn, it can easily start to turn the tide and start to continue that dip. Just the same as like we've seen here. And it got close, and of course it's like, oh, getting less. Oh, it's going to pump. It's going to pump, and then boom, it just absolutely crashed. So that is something to kind of be watching for here as well. Not enough selling power, definitely not in the time frame that we see, but it is kind of like starting to consolidate a little bit, but not really. So I think we're going to continue moving sideways, to be honest. I don't see that it's going to continue to go up, so I'm going to hold a little bit before we really break the support line here. It's not far from support, like 7 cents from support, really. Five. So it's not far, but it can go either way right now. Very, very bullish, bearish, looking into the market for now. If we look into the weekly, for Matic, Matic doesn't look bad, but it's also giving you a big warning for the next week kind of coming up, with this wick. So this top wick's pretty long, which is a big sign that it continues, the selling's actually picking up power. It was stopped, but I do think it's going to continue. So when you look at the moving averages for the week, it looks like it's going to continue down. But when you look for the daily, that's where it's at. And so this is where when you kind of take that information and combine it with each other, how close it is, and then you see that it's actually continuing to pop off. It looks like it's going to continue to go down a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if we reach $1.34 in the next 2 days, 33. I'm not gonna be that surprised. And when you look at the time frames too, honestly, it's just been kind of moving since we touched down back in March. Since we touched $1.30, $1.34, we haven't really left that too much. Like we're there. There was like a week or two. We're like, yeah, it's going up, but everything going on, of course, it came back down. So it's not something out of the ordinary. So we haven't really left that for over a month now, and I expect it to kind of come back up. I think even if it comes back to $1.50, we'll kind of touch back down in the near future for $1.45. Just giving at how everything looks now, with the candles. The cool thing though, it is pretty stable. It's nothing out of the ordinary. Rather healthy candles going on, so nothing too outrageous where we have these big pumps and of course it goes down, which really shows a reversal if you're not too familiar with that. So when you see these huge pumps, it does this out of the ordinary. It does show that there's a reversal ahead of time. Now, of course, it is a little bit different than typical market strategies. What about Dot? So Dot has its thing kind of going on too, where it is a bit of a worry for me. Now Dodd does look like it's going to go up. It's trading today at like $18.32. It looks like it will continue to go up. The same format, right? So I love moving averages. The selling is losing some power, but I've seen this completely change overnight, especially with, like, if we're speaking about like Bitcoin. and AVAX as well. There were some coins that like overnight just completely like flipped the script. So that's something to kind of keep a grip on. Now, as for when we're looking at the lines, to say, it does look like it's going to start to kind of move back up into a positive area. But it's still too close to call because it could vary. Because the last couple of days started to like really kind of like trying to get in, but it is getting rejected a little bit as far as it's selling out. So that's what's got me on the hair. Now, of course, if it dips down, we have about 2 day window that it's going to show us that it's going to continue to drop for Polkadot. But I would love to see it kind of break up at least around 1920, 1926, something like that. Looking at the weekly charts. Weekly charts are good, but this again is another big warning because you've seen there was some fighting going on with this between selling, buying, and selling. So the selling got really strong on the 11th of April that week. It got strong again, pretty well because you can see it was like getting lower and lower. People started buying in, right? But it was still showing that it was going to kind of come down, so it gave you that warning. Now, if we're speaking about the moving averages, man, they're definitely a hair away from changing. So this is a big sign that it can continue from here, from the weekly, and this wick gives me that warning as well. So this wick, if you would, this one for this week, it shows that when there was a lot of buying going on, but it was selling out, and it just couldn't really make up. Um, the selling just really couldn't make up for the buying that was happening on. So it's not a really big window, right? We're talking, I mean, 1777, right, to I mean 1838, right? So, and it's still dipping out a little bit. So, still not the hottest move. So definitely keep an eye on this one if you're trading with Polkadot right now. So, from what I see, it could move up, but still, this really unhealthy candle dip down is a bit of a problem. And so watch out for that one. We're speaking about the week, so it's not too healthy as far as that goes, and it's just outrageous. So the more we see with unhealthy candles, these these retractions, that's something to really kind of pay attention to. All right, what about Trex, right? Perpetuals, right? So Trex is moving up pretty good, actually. If you're worried about this candle, it's not a too much of one, so it is kind of moving in. It looks like it's going to continue to trade up, but what I don't like is this huge spike in volume. Now, this huge spike in volume is a bit of a problem. It's trading at 0.06 right now, and so it can potentially continue to go up, but we've also seen before then it can flip around pretty quickly too. Much like here, we had like a few days where it did just flip back and start selling. Now, of course, we had a pump. It's gradually riding. I think I'm a little bit bullish on this one. I think it's going to continue to move, continue to grow. Definitely want to see that coming up. I'll be watching for it, but nothing too serious. If you're looking for the weekly on TRX, this is a warning for the weekly though, and this is what's kind of putting me on the sideline. This big long top wick could show a bit of a reversal going back down, continue this downtrend. So that's something that you should really be watching for. Because when we're looking at the daily, if you're daily trading TRX right now, okay, cool, you're doing good. But this is a very dangerous line, so we can definitely go into the death cross as far as how this is going to work, right? So it could turn around pretty quickly in the next day or two. So pay attention to that based on your strategies. That's what's something that's going to give you a heads up. All right, what about Axis, right? So Axis has had a lot of stuff going on right now. Of course, they were hacked. They had a lot of money stolen from them, around 600 million. So they're kind of in the headlines. Here we're kind of moving in a wedge pattern too, kind of consolidating, which is pretty cool. The fact that it's consolidating and kind of being pretty tight knit in battling back and forth, pretty comfortable. It does give me a that alone gives me a good signal that all right, it's going to break above the resistance here, and we're going to start making some money. Now, of course, it can turn around again too, but from what I see with the moving average lines, when I look at how it's just kind of moving out as far as the volume goes down too. It looks like it's starting to flip around, and we don't see that huge wick where people actually bought into it. It looks like they are buying into the selling that's going on, so it does, at least for the next couple of days, if you're a day trader, give you a bit of an idea that you can probably continue buying in. Probably right now is the moment to buy in. It's sitting at 45 and 43 cents. Not too horrible of a price, but I think I'm going to probably buy, and then today or tomorrow I'll really kind of wait it, maybe even the 25th, to see what it's going to do. But it'll be a good point to buy into before it starts to go up a little bit. At least if I can make it to 60 and make some kind of profit. So, but I'm pretty bullish on that. So we'll see. Looking at the weekly, there's that fighting going on, that double wick. You've heard me speak about double wicks too, and this is something that is, it always shows me in my experience that it's going to kind of do a reversal, whether it be uptrend or downtrend. So I think this next signal that's kind of giving me like, hey, this big flag, like, okay, this is what's going to happen. Even here, when you look at this kind of coming off right here, we had this pump. So every time you see that, even right here, we had a big pump coming in. So I think it will actually kind of pump off and go up a little bit. I want to see it 55 by the end of the week, or by the middle of next week. So if it go up $55, and make somewhat of a profit. So we'll definitely have to watch for this one as well. The market, as I told you in the earlier part of the video, the market altogether, if you're looking at it, it's just red. Weeklies, 24-hour periods, all just horrible. Bitcoin's plunged back down to 39,584. I think it will touch 36 again pretty soon, but the 24-hour period is 2.78%. The weekly is down by 2.16% again. Ethereum is down to 2.05 for the week, or for the daily. In the weekly is down 2.85. XRP is also down almost by 9% for the weekly, down by almost 3 for the day. Solana also is kind of fighting it off at 1.12 for the weekly and 2.63 for the daily. Luna is doing pretty good if we're looking at weekly. It's 15.83% for the week and only down by 0.44 for the day. So it's not too bad. Cardano is like still struggling around around like $1.90. Let's see what right now. Cardano is at what, 89 cents right now. So for the daily, it is down by 3.22% and down by 6.74% for the daily as well, or for the weekly. So it's not, man, even to touch $1.20 would be the normal price, but there's a lot of things that's going to be coming off for Cardano here soon. They have a lot, and I repeat, a lot of different contracts kind of coming in, different projects. Sorry. So they can do that if they can complete this, right? So that's the whole thing. AVAX, love AVAX, but right now it's just disappointing me. 3.36% for the 24-hour period. Weekly, 4.01. DOT, which we were just kind of going over, for the daily, 1.10, and for the weekly, only down by 0.50. I really think it's going to start moving up pretty soon. I think it's really starting to pump. Matic as well, down by 1.90 for the week and down by almost 4% for the 24-hour period. Not the greatest for the day, but weekly it can show something different. Tron, 9.5 up and for the weekly, and up by 0.35% for the 24-hour period. Of course, if you're buying in the ape coin, if you bought in the ape coin, you are doing really good right now. Up by 41.61% for the weekly, and up by 21.28% for the daily, trading at $17.15, which is actually doing very, very good. Pancake Swap is also doing good by 13.43% for the weekly. So it's doing pretty good. They're going to have a lot of different projects coming into them too. A lot of different things are going to be happening on Pancake. So keep an eye for this. I think it will continue to climb. It's trading at $9.19 as well. So that even GMT is actually up double digits, 37.47 for weekly. Definitely doing really, really good. And that is all right now. So if you're trading within these last like 40 coins, 40 to like 30, you're doing pretty good. Well, 30, yeah, exactly, the 30, you're doing pretty good. Even if you're on XMR, Monero, You're doing pretty good. So drop a comment. Let me know what coins that you are expecting to pump here in the next week or two, and what are you expecting from Bitcoin? Is it going to go to 35? Is it going to plummet to 20 before August gets? Let me know in the comments and let me know what you think. Thank you for joining. Subscribe, drop a comment, hit your bell, get your latest news. Follow me on, and let's see where this market takes us.